Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening. First tonight, a Northwest Caravan park owner says he's wasted thousands of dollars and will now temporarily close his business due to the spirits debacle. The tourism industry just one of those suffering the consequences of delays to Berth 3, with Tasmania's peak farming body also sharing growing concerns.
Gavin Imlock says he spent $150,000 preparing his Latrobe Caravan Park for an influx of tourists that the new Spirit was supposed to have brought.
From October, November and partway through December, nobody came in. There was no mainland number plates coming off the ferry, and I had 0 bookings day after day after day.
Gavin telling a parliamentary inquiry he wasn't told about hefty delays to Berth 3 until it was too late.
So who informed you of that?
The media.
The Tourism Council says word got out, despite TT Line reporting 2,500 caravans and 1,400 motorhomes arrived via the ships in November, December last year.
There was some feedback over last winter that people thought the Spirits had stopped sailing, so people just thought there was no ships because of the public debate around it.
Labor claimed the Premier knew there were delays long before it was public knowledge, something the state government disputes.
All of this has been caused by the new ships not being available. And they're not just delayed by 1 year or 2 years, they're delayed by 6 years.
Back on track, absolutely, and with no help from the opposition.
Tasmania's peak farming body telling the committee freight links like the Spirit prove crucial for producers, many now too scared to expand operations.
The risk is just too great for us to diversify into different equipment, different ways of managing our farms, different water resources.
The completion date for Berth 3 is earmarked for October next year. Some hesitant that's achievable.
You can only take people at their word.
Which hasn't been really good today.
Sometimes reputation, does start to create uncertainty.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
The state's health minister has been touting the success of a year-long recruitment blitz in Tasmania's health system today on International Nurses Day. But as staff shortages worsen and pressure mounts on the sector, questions loom over the government's controversial hiring freeze.
The Tasmanian health system reaping the rewards of an election promise.
We've recruited nearly 3,000 more healthcare workers right across our Tasmanian's health service since April last year.
Around a third are from interstate or overseas. Another 200 recruited from across Tasmania.
It's a beautiful, inclusive space to be, and everyone's happy to kind of pull me under their wing.
I got in touch straight to Department of Health Tasmania because Tasmania was actually my first choice. And then, it was smooth sailing.
But as the government celebrates, the reality is stark. More than 2,000 healthcare workers have also left the sector, marking an 11% turnover.
The net increase is 847. So keeping in mind that our health workforce is an ageing workforce.
The Peak Health Union is calling out the contradiction.
And how can the government be out here saying it's doing a recruitment blitz for the last 12 months while it's freezing jobs?
Pointing the finger at the government's hiring freeze on non-essential roles in a bid to save some cash, while the system continues to bleed staff.
LGH Emergency Department has been understaffed in terms of nursing for coming on 2 years. That's really impacting emergency department times.
If a health worker's role is essential to patient care, we are still filling those roles.
But with frontline staff sounding the alarm, it's a sector stuck in code red. Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmania News.
Well, Jackie Lambie is expected to retain her Senate seat as counting continues for the upper house positions. Her network has 0.5 of a quota according to the Australian Electoral Commission. Labor's Carol Brown, the Liberals' Claire Chandler and the Greens' Nick McKim all retain their seats. One Nation candidate Lee Hansen is tipped to miss out. Tasmanian drivers are being called on to make a commitment to safer behaviour behind the wheel as part of National Road Safety Week. But there are concerns reminders to do the right thing aren't getting through.
There have been 21 deaths on the state's roads so far this year and more than 100 serious injuries. The grim figures have authorities worried, and the message couldn't be clearer.
We want people to make good choices and sound decisions when they're driving on Tasmanian roads.
That includes slowing down, wearing seatbelts and avoiding distractions like mobile phones. And the message at the heart of this Road Safety Week, taking responsibility for decisions made in the driver's seat.
We as a government are seeking to invest in road safety, but at the end of the day, it is all of us as individuals that will make the fundamental difference.
The state's peak motoring bodies backing the campaign, describing 2025 as a shocking year already on our roads, partnering with the state government on an $8 million youth road safety program.
We know consistently that disadvantaged Tasmanians, regional Tasmanians and young Tasmanians are always significantly overrepresented in our road trauma stats.
Other measures include the Steering the Future truck and trailer that's been visiting schools to provide road safety advice to students.
And we've also talked with them about eliminating distractions when they're behind the wheel, making sure that their focus is 100% on the driving task.
And for those not heeding the warning,
we'll continue to target those people that engage in those behaviours that we know are contributors to fatal and serious crashes.
Matthew Watson, 7 Tasmania News.
A car yard on Elizabeth Street in North Hobart has been targeted by thieves in the early hours of this morning. 5 cars were stolen between 1:30 and 6:30, including a grey Holden Ute, a red Ford Falcon and a silver BMW hatchback. Police have launched an investigation, urging anyone with information to come forward. And a cemetery and a parenting centre in Hobart suburbs have been the target of 2 separate attacks. Vandals allegedly drove a vehicle through the Brighton Cemetery near Pontville, damaging multiple graves and headstones on Friday or Saturday. Meanwhile, windows were smashed at Newtown Parenting Centre.
It's really disappointing that that's actually occurred. It is a rare event that happens.
A 26-year-old Queenstown man will front court regarding the damages at Newtown, while police are still investigating the Brighton incident. And again, they're calling on anyone with information to come forward. Well, fortunately, callous vandalism hasn't had a serious impact on operations at the Newtown Parenting Centre. The group determined not to let the attack spoil celebrations as the vital service bands together to mark National Families Week.
Parenting is no easy job. First-time mum Melissa knows the rewards and hiccups that come with it.
The biggest rewards are seeing him smile and to seeing how much he grows. And some of the challenges was crying. When that real unsettled cry, and you're doing everything and nothing settles him.
But after giving birth to son Leo, Melissa wasn't alone. Thanks to support of the Child Health and Parenting Service, which helps families juggle more than just parenthood.
Feeding, sleep, settling, behaviour, toileting, perinatal mental health and family wellbeing.
Leo was a rather unsettled baby at birth. He spent more time being unsettled, being awake than happy. So that was quite stressful.
Yay! Qualified clinicians on call to ease some of that pressure for parents with children aged 5 years and under.
It's Monday to Friday and there's up to about 20 families that can come through in a day.
It was really helpful, just really comforting for me. And they're flexible, they can come to your home.
And giving parents someone to talk to.
It also lets you know that everyone's so different as well. So I found that helpful, and you can also develop quite good friendships as well with some of the mums, and maybe the bubs will grow up being friends as well.
Rebecca Gattinera, 7 Tasmania News.
The public is being urged to avoid eating recreationally harvested shellfish, especially in southern Tasmania, following the detection of potentially harmful toxins. Dangerous levels of algae have been found, including in oysters, mussels and clams in areas such as Boomer Bay and east of Denali. If consumed, it can cause serious illness and cannot be avoided or by cooking or freezing. Anyone feeling unwell should seek medical advice. Traditionally the domain of Tasmanians living in major urban cities, the housing crisis is now spilling over to those based in our regional areas. It's one of the issues at the forefront in the Upper House division of Montgomery, ahead of elections in just under 2 weeks' time.
Rebecca has been struggling to secure housing for herself and her 5 children, forced to leave due to a neighbourhood dispute.
For my children's safety and mental health, I had no choice but to pack up and move.
Unable to crack into the private rental market and stuck on a lengthy public housing wait list, she's now living out of a tent.
There is no way I can put a roof over my children's head. The frustration and mental health toll it's taking on me is extreme.
The Greens highlighting the issue as part of their campaign for the Legislative Council elections later this month. Macquarie Point Stadium in their firing line.
We need affordable housing, not $1 billion stadium, which will ruin our budget.
Believing funds from the project should be redirected to social programs like public housing.
Ultimately, it will be the Legislative Council that decides the fate of the stadium.
But independent candidate Casey Hiscott believes we must stick with the deal struck with the AFL, including the construction of the stadium.
I think that the money that will be spent there is ensuring a future for young people in our community, and that's an ethos that I strongly stand for.
While also agreeing the housing crisis in the electorate needs to be solved as soon as possible.
Houses are something that we need more of to alleviate the housing crisis in all of Tasmania.
Polling day is on Saturday, May 24. Mark Zita, 7 Tasmania News.
Visitors can once again walk the historic 60-metre Alexandra suspension bridge at the Cataract Gorge Reserve now that extensive restoration work has finished.
We know that it's a huge part of our identity, and that's why it's been so important that we've been able to do this in such a heritage and respectful way.
The project has been completed in 2 stages at the cost of $1.5 million. The bridge originally opened in 1904. It has been closed to pedestrians since January.
Lauderdale remains the only side to beat Clarence so far in the SFL. They'll play a rematch this weekend after the Roos' hard-fought victory over Glenorchy. And a secret weapon is emerging in Josh Green, who's averaging 5 goals a game.
He got himself really fit over the pre-season, and I think it's really transformed into his game. He's been able to play a mix of midfield and forward for us.
Scottsdale fell on the correct side of a nail-biter against South Launceston, finding their 50% win record is indicative of the strength of the comp.
And you don't really know who's going to win on the day. It comes down to who wants it more and who's better on the day. I think, the competition's so even.
In the Northwest, coaches have been named for the NWFL rep sides. Former assistant Clint Schultz takes over the women's side. Kurt Bayard returns for his 3rd year as men's coach.
We've got 31 players in the squad. Should be fairly competitive. A few new faces compared to last year within the region, but a region where we always have our players very keen to represent the area.
Go back to last year, both games were decided by under a kick, so it should be tight, and it should be, hopefully the weather gods play their part and we get a nice dry day at UTAS.
The first of their 3 rep rounds is Saturday next week against the NTFA at UTAS Stadium. The last-minute show of speed from Hobart's Daniel Booker has landed him in a maiden UCI Enduro World Cup win in the opening round, claiming the Italian leg by less than a second.
Oh, it's like something I've dreamt of for so long, so it's pretty crazy.
He now needs to bounce back for the Mountain Bike World Series next weekend.
Good evening. Hobart 21 today, that's nearly 7 degrees on average. Launceston and Burnie 20 and Devonport reached 18. Friendly Beach is the high with 22 after Fingal registered our low of 1. St Helens 21 today, Smithton Grove, Bushy Park and the Islands all 19. Lowhead 18, Strawn 15 and Lyoweeney a high of 14 degrees. Extensive low cloud over western parts of the state with just scattered low cloud over the remainder. More low cloud over the north and east of the country, a distinct spiral of cloud near Cape York as well, off there to the northeast. Tomorrow, a ridge of high pressure remains over southern areas of the nation, a cold front and trough over waters south of the Bight. West to southwest winds at 10 to 20 knots tomorrow, tending west-northwesterly from 25 knots late morning, swells to 3.5 metres in southern waters. And over the south, a strong wind warning for waters between Tasman Island and Low Rocky Point. Forecast for tomorrow, 17 and mostly sunny for Hobart, 17 as well for Adventure Bay, morning frost for Tarraleah, -1 to start, 13 later on. 16 for Launceston, a possible shower. 15 for Devonport, a shower or two for Bridport, 50-50 chance, 16 the maximum. 16 for Burnie, showers increasing over Strawn, 15 the maximum and 16 the high for Marrawar. St Helens tomorrow, a high of 17 and a possible shower, partly cloudy, and 18 for Swansea. White mark on Flinders, 17. On Wednesday, showers easing and contracting to the west later. Another shower over the west and Bass Strait Islands on Thursday, sunny along the east coast. And on Friday, possible showers over the west and south, temperatures in the mid to high teens. Sunny and warm in Perth and Adelaide tomorrow, early cloud over Melbourne, 22 the top. Showers and 22 as well in Sydney, Brisbane 25 and a sunny 33 in Darwin. Mostly clear at the moment, 12 in Hobart, 12 in Launceston and currently 12 in Devonport. A lot of people think Mondays bring on Monday-itis, Kim, but I love a Monday, a big night on television. There'll be some relationship drama in Summer Bay shortly and my wife's favourite show coming up tonight. Yes, Farmer Wants a Wife, and tonight's episode, Farmer Thomas teaches Clarette how to use a knife and fork properly. That'll be good.
You watch a lot of TV. And of course, when we need etiquette tips, we always come to you.